case study was concerned with why farm green. Conventional farming practices from monocultures to chemical use to GMOs are being questioned today, particularly in the name of environmental sustainability. While these practices allow us to produce enough food to feed the world, the effects, current and long term, are being more thoroughly considered. These effects are impacting environments, ecosystems, societies, and economies. To avoid negative effects yet maintain our food production, alternative farming techniques will need to be applied, and the systems, policies, and perceptions that are currently in place will. Here we see fields in rural Champaign County, having been cultivated following harvest in the fall, leaving the soil vulnerable to erosion over the winter. We'll be looking at some conventional alternatives to leaving the soil exposed in this manner. Leaving the soil untilled over the winter provides maintenance of soil structure and texture, with an undisturbed residue cover on the surface, allowing warmer temperatures for earlier spring planting and prevention of soil runoff. Here we see wheat acting as a winter cover, protecting the soil from winter erosion as well as providing the farmer with an economic incentive at June harvest. It is less popular here in central and northern Illinois compared to southern Illinois, where there is even less economic incentive to grow wheat in light of the nutrient-rich fields that heavily favor corn growth. Another alternative is the growth of alfalfa. As a perennial and continuous cover crop, it's also more favorable environmentally and physiologically as cattle feed in comparison to corn. As negative consequences of conventional farming has become more apparent, small-scale movements such as the Sustainable Student Farm here on campus makes use of diversified, low-intensive horticultural production systems over the high-intensity row crops we're familiar with. As agriculture continues to shy away from the family-owned farms, we can expect to see increased prevalence in the active involvement of companies like Pioneer, as well as decisions by local farm bureaus that may attempt to unfairly standardize production practices in favor of larger corporations. Well, head of the Weed Science Department here at the University of Illinois. And the first question we'd like to ask him is, how has the environmental sustainability movement affected weed science research here at the University of Illinois?
I would say overall has not had a great deal of effect on the practical side of the weed control for the large-scale farmers and your typical Midwest corn and soybean farmers. We're still using pesticides, herbicides in particular for weed control for 99% of the covered acres. There are some organic programs that are growing and some techniques in that, but as far as the minor effect for us would be limiting of uses of some of the compounds. Atrazine is constantly under pressure, as you know, for re-registration and new experiments trying to show different things in the environment. So if further things come out that cut down on the ability to use some of these herbicide compounds, that could affect our research a little bit, but it could also open up some research looking at more lower rate technology, multiple applications. But overall, we look at more of the trends, the seed technology and the biotech stuff that's coming on that essentially increases food production, makes it more efficient, more economical, and that still seems to be the majority of our research. So it's very little right now, but it is out there, and we do see parts of it at times.
All right, in terms of the green techniques, what kinds of things are they implementing with the weed program here at the University of Illinois?
It's a little bit outside of my area, but from what I understand, there are cover crop research going on, different rotations in some of the crops to keep weeds somewhat subdued, and then there's some implements being experimented on, dragging through the field at various times to stir up and kill seedlings before they come up, inner row type things, and then you've got the robotic area in the ag engineering department where they've got other mechanical or other forms of non-herbicide, non-pesticide weed control, and that area is also heavily being looked at and getting in even into the know what you're going after, so you don't just go out and spray pesticides randomly. So there's quite a few different things being looked at in the University of
Challenges facing agriculture in the world today are not small. Since the arrival of modern conventional agriculture in the 1970s, nonstop debate has ensued between proponents of convention and environmentalists hoping for radical changes. The next century will be an illumination of the agriculture potential of the world, in which man's ideals for a world in which no one is hungry within a clean environment may become a reality. Thank you.